We've come to part 3, which I have labeled as dual fulfillment. Part 2 of this series dealt with the prophecy of Daniel's 70 weeks, Daniel chapter 9, verses 23 through 27. And this chart was shown to help explain that each prophetic week equals 7 years. The 70 prophetic weeks are divided into 3 time periods: 7 weeks, 62 weeks, and then the 70th week. The first 69 prophetic weeks ended with the crucifixion. The 70th week is yet to be fulfilled. Daniel said of the 70th week, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate." Daniel 9:27. Many may have thought that this prophecy of the abomination of desolation was fulfilled by Antiochus IV Epiphanes, who reigned over Syria from 175 BC until 164 BC. His dominion was extended over Israel. According to www.questions.org, he raided the temple in Jerusalem, stealing its treasures, setting up an altar to Zeus, and sacrificing swine on the altar. When the Jews expressed their outrage over the profaning of the temple, Antiochus responded by slaughtering a great number of the Jews and selling others into slavery. He issued a decree that the rite of circumcision was punishable by death, and Jews everywhere were ordered to sacrifice to pagan gods and eat pig flesh. In the New Testament, however, Jesus, Paul, and John present the abomination of desolation as a yet future event near the end of the world. This is an example of what is referred to in studies of prophecy as dual fulfillment. The dual fulfillment of prophecy for present and future application is the idea that some prophecies in the Bible have both a short-term and a long-term fulfillment. Numerous examples of this are found in Jesus' words in Matthew 24. "And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down." And as he sat down upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Jesus went on to say, When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. In this passage, there are dual prophecies concerning 1, the destruction of the temple; 2, Antichrist; 3, the beginning of sorrows; 4, the abomination of desolation, which has already been discussed in the previous part of this series. Let's look at the destruction of the temple. Jesus prophesied about the temple, There shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. In the first Jewish-Roman war, Cestius Gallus, the Roman governor of Syria, entered Jerusalem in AD 66 to put down a Jewish revolt. The Christians fled to Pella during the attack by Gallus. The early Christian scholar Eusebius wrote, "The whole body, however, of the church at Jerusalem, having been commanded by a divine revelation given to men of approved piety there before the war, removed from the city and dwelt at a certain town beyond the Jordan called Pella." Gallus was defeated by the Jewish rebels, and the Christians remained at Pella. In AD 70, the Roman general Titus, son of Emperor Vespasian, entered Jerusalem and destroyed Jerusalem and the temple. Jewish historian Josephus says that more than 1 million Jews perished and nearly 100,000 were taken captive. However, the Christians had escaped to Pella and other places beyond the Jordan, and not a one of them perished. Perhaps many thought that this was a fulfillment of Jesus' prophecy of the destruction of the temple. But Jesus made reference to this in the context of his second coming and the end of the world. The third temple, in which the abomination of desolation will occur, has not yet been built. Many believe that temple will also be destroyed, and that there will yet be a fourth temple, the millennial temple, as described in Ezekiel chapters 40 through 48. Also, is it not obvious that Pella is parallel to the wilderness in which the 144,000 are to be sealed? Now let's consider the Antichrist as a dual fulfillment. Jesus also prophesied, "Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many." He also said, "For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders." Matthew 24, verse 24. John wrote, "Little children, it is the last time, and as you have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time." 1 John 2 and 18. So there were already Antichrists in the New Testament church. Paul prophesied that there would be a great falling away, which would plunge the early church into the dark ages. He said, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived." 2 Timothy 3:13. He also said, "For I know this, that after my departing, grievous wolves shall enter in among you, not sparing the flock." Acts 20 and 29. By AD 325, with the adoption of the Nicene Creed, this prophecy was fulfilled. But Isaiah also prophesied that the church would arise and shine out of this darkness. He said, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." Isaiah chapter 60, verses 1 and 2. This was fulfilled in the early 20th century. But the world has not recovered from the darkness and continues to experience a falling away as evil men and seducers grow worse and worse. This evil will culminate in the Antichrist and the revealing of his person. Paul had explained this to the saints at Thessalonica. He wrote, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all powers and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. In this example of dual fulfillment, there were and are many antichrists who will culminate in the person of the Antichrist. Now let us look at the beginning of sorrows as dual fulfillment. Jesus also prophesied about the beginning of sorrows. He said, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." The Greek word translated here as sorrows was commonly used in Jesus' day to refer to the birth pains of a pregnant woman before the birth of a child. Her pains become more frequent and more severe until the child is born. Some pregnant women experience false labor pains, which are called Braxton Hicks contractions. They can be difficult to distinguish from the real thing. They begin as early as the 6th month of pregnancy. They may increase until the 8th month. Real labor contractions are longer and closer together as she nears the birth of the child. A woman may think that she is so near labor that she rushes to the hospital and is sent back home because it is not yet time. Let me emphatically say that I believe that the COVID-19 vaccination is more than just the Braxton Hicks, but rather a strong labor pain and a sign that Jesus is coming soon. But the end is not yet. Before my son Terry was born, I had walked the floor at the hospital all night long, expecting him to be born at any minute. Around noon the next day, the doctor said the baby would not be born until around 6 o'clock that evening. So my dad and I went to a restaurant for lunch. While we were eating, I received a phone call that Terry had been born. The doctor was also in the restaurant. I was reminded of the words of Jesus, "In such an hour as ye think not." Even so, Jesus said it would be this way with the things that must come to pass before the end of the world. You cannot listen to the daily news without hearing that the events that Jesus mentioned are becoming more frequent and more severe. Wars, famines, pestilences, and earthquakes are becoming more frequent and more severe. The most terrible of world wars will end with the Battle of Armageddon. The worst of famines is yet to come. There will be yet a deadly global pestilence to which COVID-19 cannot compare. There is yet to be a great earthquake such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. Revelation chapter 16, verse 18. The night of Jesus' betrayal, he knew that very soon he would return to his Father and leave his disciples. He spoke these words of comfort to them: "A little while, and ye shall not see me. And again, a little while, and ye shall see me, because I go to the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. And ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. A woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. And ye now therefore have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man take it from you. John chapter 16, verse 16, verses 19 and 20. An old song says, just a little while to stay here, just a little while to wait, just a little while to labor in the path that's always straight. Oh, just a little more of sorrow in this low and sinful state. Then we'll enter heaven's portals, sweeping through those pearly gates. This is Roger Ammons with Ready Answers for Bible Questions, saying, Maranatha, even so come quickly, Lord Jesus.